Hello, and a big welcome to all of you out there who are watching or listening to this podcast. And today we have an old friend here. It's Liana Antonovich or Antonovich. I can never say
Antanovich,
it.
Liana Antanovich.
It's difficult for me with all this language. A big welcome. It's so nice to see you again.
Thank you very much, and thank you for having me.
And tell us a little about where you are from and what you are going to talk about today.
Um, I'm an equestrian who switched from started in eventing and then show jumping and then last decades in dressage. Yeah, I'm a trainer and a judge in dressage.
Mm.
Um, and I've traveled the world doing everything in my career. And I spent 20 years in the United States. I dealt with horses in other countries. And yeah, and most recently, I've branched not only into dressage, but also into para dressage, yeah,
Mhm.
Paralympics. And I've started studying Special Olympics and judging some competitions there. And that all of a sudden broadened my horizons. And I started thinking across and seeing commonalities and differences. And I found that it might be interesting because not many people are involved into a few different disciplines or pockets in research simultaneously, right? We're typically staying in one basket or in one pocket, and we just keep building our performances
Yeah.
there. But hey, it's a holidays time, and some crossover observations might be interesting for our community. So that's why
Absolutely. Yeah.
I'm here.
Yeah. And you have some slides with you, and
Mhm.
you can share your screen, and
Yeah, let's
we
start.
will have a look at it.
It's a short 5 slides, but I hope it will be uh, interesting and supporting material.
Yes. And for
So
you
I
who
run the
are
pro. Oh,
yeah, for you who are only listening out there, I'm going to tell you what there are in the slides so you know it. Yeah.
wait. Is it showing?
Yes, I can see
Yeah.
it. Gates in dressage.
Uh-huh. I
Yes.
run a project that I call Equestrian Strategies, and for that I have a website, equestrianstrategies.com. And our audience can go there and see myself, which disciplines I judge, which tests I score in the score sheet. And on that website, I will be publishing some interesting analytical pieces
Mm.
um, that might be helpful for equestrians all over the world. So let's see, maybe that will become a substance for one of them. How do we switch the slides?
I
Ah,
think you only click
yeah,
on it. Yes,
yeah.
there it is.
So there are three facts um, on that I would like to highlight today in a sport of dressage. Fact number one is that originally, historically, a training and competition system is created for a national or regional breed. Let's look into details. German training system is built for a German warm blood. Spanish training system is built for a Spanish horse for its abilities. Endurance is for Arabians and Akalteke horses. Races are for thoroughbreds. Yeah, and Western dressage is for American quarter horse. These are just examples. It's not black and white. It's a little bit, it bleeds into zones of gray, but pretty much how the product fit to a sport program was made tight to fit the talents and advantages of a specific breed.
Mm.
And the breed was born, built in a territory with a certain climate landscape and to do a certain job. Yeah. So the sport became a derivative of it. What would you say, Anne?
Yeah, that sounds right, because there have been a lot of talk about that this dressage, if you think about the Olympic, that Spanish horses can't compete with the other sort of horses. So this is good to see it like this. That yeah, then you
Yeah.
can
And
think about it.
we respects to German Equestrian Federation, who controls both breeding arm of equestrian operation and the competition system, training and competition system. And they made their program, their breeding slash competition program, the leading program in the world. And so all the other nations and breeds snap into it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So obviously German horses have advantage
Mhm.
in that system because that program, that system was designed for German horses, and that helps. It pours water on the water mill of the German breeding, well, which is wonderful. And I own one of the German warmbloods. I
Yeah.
have an Oldenburg by Furstenball, so they have me there as well. Um, through and through. But same respects go to other breeds and sport programs, competition systems. Yeah. Um, Fact number two. Let's see if we take it or not. The judging system across dressage disciplines is the same, though, no matter what a competing in class breed is.
That's right. Yes.
Yeah? If it is a quarter horse competing in the dressage class next to German warmblood and the Spanish horse,
Mm.
the system of evaluation of these horses is the same. Yeah, even
Yes.
though natural talents, abilities of the horses are very, very different. So it seems natural that for a matching breed to a discipline, the training will be easier. It is much easier to school, for example, medium and extended trot on a German warmblood than on a quarter horse.
Absolutely. Yes.
Even on Spanish horses, right? Take a Lusitano. So few
It's
of them can do extension.
yes.
However, almost in all competitions, there is always that one off-breed horse that performs better than natively more suitable ones.
Mm.
I say that from my observation of different competitions as a competitor, as a spectator, and as a judge. You come and you judge that show in some equestrian center, and all of a sudden there is a Frisian, a quarter horse, or a Spanish horse that performs better by
Yes.
far
Yeah.
than all the German warm bloods of high quality in that collection, that what you see in the show ring. So it is something to be said to individual abilities, even in the breed that is not quite fitted to the sport program,
Mm.
and to individual nuances of the training, talents of the rider, and the trainer involved. Yeah. So
Mm.
the team, the horse team, plus the horse individual itself can make a star. I've seen this almost in every show.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah. So any horse and rider has an opportunity for development, right? But results can span all over the place. If you
Yes.
have a son of Totilas, of Allegro, or one of the horses like An you breed Palaminas, right? It's not the fact that there will not be some, strange pony who will go and win a class.
Well.
Yeah, it's possible. Um, Fact number 3. Mass equestrian sport in any country rides any available horses. Yeah, this is also what we see.
Yes.
And these horses may not match a class ideally.
No.
So how do judges go about it?
Mm.
How do trainers go about it when they
Mm.
set expectations for their riders and their families who support the riders? Well, this is a very common situation for judges. Judges look for every opportunity to reward quality of
Mm.
technique and kindness and feel of a horse in a rider. So, not the gates that are purchased as you purchase a horse, but judges also look for opportunities to reward quality of technique, kindness, and feel of a horse and a rider. Yeah. At the low levels of sport, it is very feasible to train and perform well, pretty much for anybody.
Yes.
However, this does not come without some sweating,
Mm.
both on the horse's side and the human side.
That's right.
Yeah. And what are the recent findings, developments in helping riders be motivated on horses of different abilities? Can you recall or list any methods or ways or tips?
Yeah. You maybe judge the way of riding and the effect on the horse and the softness and maybe yeah, you can see a lot of things, I think.
A lot of hat off, a lot of respect goes to FEI, who developed the methodology of scoring, yeah, for dressage disciplines.
Mm.
And they oversee dressage, eventing dressage, para dressage very closely. And the judging scale is identical, yeah?
Yeah.
And FEI puts the minimal sufficient score of a horse with pure gaits, paces, of any breed as 5.0. It's in their uh, scoring guide. Yeah, they put 5.0 as a firewall mark.
Mm-hmm.
And recently they've expanded that guide to include many more clarifications of the firewalls. What can be 5.5, what can be 5.0, what can be less than 5.0, which means 4.5 or less,
Mm-hmm.
and what for. From that, the summary, the key principle that any rider or trainer can take is that 5.0 is the minimal sufficient score for pure gaits. Pure gaits means exact 4-beat walk with clear V, no lateral tendency. Yeah. It is the same for rhythm in the trot and in canter. 2-beat trot, 3-beat canter. Earning 5.5 and 6.0 might take years, even if rider's mount has natural talents and abilities and does not come without enough sweating for both horse and rider. So 5.5, when we see in the score sheets 5.5 or 6.0, it is already the judge recognizes quality that has been built on top of what you've got as a raw material in a horse when you put a raw rider, in a saddle. So
Okay.
that's already a result of training and work and such. Of course, there are horses and riders, you match them, and from the get-go, they produce not 5.0, but 6.0, 7.0,
Mm.
8.0. But it's already, we are narrowing down, we are climbing the top of the pyramid of human talent and horse talent.
Mm.
Yeah. But if it is an average rider on an average horse or not so expensive and such, if you get 5.0, that is the minimal okay from which the rider can develop more further.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's a good probably I would like to share that if a rider and the horse stays in some gaits and movements in the test in 5.0 for quite substantial time, then training and matching of rider horse, horse to discipline and such need to be revisited. Because getting from 5.0 to 5.5 is feasible and doable. And
Yeah.
FEI created that scale guidelines of scoring the movements to allow to apply equal standards to all horses and to allow riders to quickly see their progress reflected in the scores. So if it was 5.0 on a few shows a few times, but then it is 5.5, you're on a good trajectory. Then it is 6.0, you're on a good trajectory. Then it is 6.5, you're already like, whew, wonderful,
On the
something
way.
good is cooking there. And once you get your sevens, it's already time to celebrate good results. Yeah. So, but everybody starts from the ground, from the ground.
Yeah.
And here I'm showing 3 slides. One slide is a framework for walk,
Mm-hmm.
and then the other will be for the trot, and then the other one will be for canter. And for walk, the slide shows criteria for collected, working, we'll talk about that, medium, extended, and free
Mm-hmm.
walk. And it has some pictures, some photographs that I just took from the internet. Thank you, Bing and Google and whatever search engines we have. And community who posts their pictures there in the internet. And we look at differences in contact, frame, overstep, reach, tempo in beats per minute, and stride length. So I built these tables, these frameworks, to share with the riders and trainers and their family members who are frequently spectators and support fan teams, yeah, so that they could easily see, because in dressage it is so difficult to see, right?
Yeah, really,
In show
really
jumping,
difficult to say.
whoops, and you say it's all
Hmm.
over the fence or not. In dressage, it's not that easy. So this is like a sheet with tips what to look for when we see the horse in a show ring. The basic gait for every horse and rider is a working gait or pace.
Yes.
Same applies to walk. And in dressage, we used to have working walk, which later was eliminated by
Hmm.
FEI
Yes.
from the dressage discipline as the gait that doesn't help anything. It doesn't mean that the horse does not have it. It doesn't mean that the riders and trainers do not use it in their daily practice. It doesn't mean that the horse does not use it when it walks free. Yeah. But it is a gait that is not in the glossary of terms for a dressage competition. And this gait was removed even from the training vocabulary. Yeah, we'll talk about that why when we look at all of them. So the basic working walk is on the beat when the horse goes in the round frame, round rainbow neck, with poll slightly lowered to the level of withers. And that's when the poll is not necessarily the highest point. It will be somewhere the middle of hump of the neck, the highest point. The top line of the neck is elongated and stretched, but the overall length of the neck is a half long neck. The horse has contact through the rein with the rider's hand. The horse is perfectly on the beat, softly chewing, playing with the beat with the tongue. Yeah. When the horse moves in a working walk, it has mostly matching prints, hind hoof into the print of the front hoof.
Hmm.
And for most of the modern horses, such a form of going, which is a form of going where the horse can easily and effectively and efficiently cover long distances, hoof print to hoof print in a lowered neck, the horse can cover long distances without, still getting tired, but not overly tired. Well, the speed, the march of that gait is not sufficient to support to support the training of the dressage horse or to demonstrate its quality in the walk.
Hmm.
And it is so close in performance to medium walk, yeah, that I understand why working walk was removed from the classical dressage disciplines. However, this walk does exist in Special Olympics and in working equitation for Spanish horses.
Hmm.
They start officially in the tests with a working walk. So it does exist. The tempo of the walk it varies, depends on the horse size, how free limbs are moving, and it is somewhere between 90 beats per minute on a metronome and 106. Yeah, so average horse somewhere between 90 and 106. And this tempo for walk pretty much stays consistent across different variations of walk: collected, working, medium, extended, and free. Riders and musical freestyle designers know that science very well. They also know that the tempo in walks can slightly be changing towards very slight slowing down of tempo in collected walk and slight acceleration, maybe only 1-5%, up to 95 to 115 beats per minute in extended walk. Yeah, horses get excited. Yeah, and they a little bit lose, but very lightly, stability, steadiness of tempo. Not every human eye can catch that, but
No.
when you measure it with a metronome, when you put it into a slow motion, one can see this. For some horses, it is quite visible, and then it can influence the score because judges look for absolute steadiness of tempo across variation of paces.
Mhm.
Yeah. The next walk, which is most popular, is medium walk. We can see it in the dressage tests. And this walk differs from the working walk by the pole position and by the overstride.
Mhm.
In the medium walk, the horse is rainbow neck on the beat, but the pole is approaching, but the neck is swinging up and down. Yeah, it's called an oscillation of the neck. But when the horse oscillates up, the pole is the highest point. We may not necessarily see it in the working walk, but in the medium, we must see this movement. The horse is on the beat, the neck is round, half long, and the horse marches with overstriding. This is the main requirement of the medium walk. The horse overstrides hind hoof over the print of the front hoof on the
Mhm.
same side. And we see a clear V. So the expected overstride can vary, yeah, based on the horse. Its body length, length of legs. If it is a long mare on short legs, yeah,
Mhm.
there will be not so much overstride, and it can be only half of a hoof print overstride. But when judges see this difference and they recognize the conformation of the horse, that already will play towards the benefit of the pair. Yeah, and the score will be reflecting that as a fair 6.0, for example, for medium walk.
Mhm.
However, if it is medium walk and it is only matching hoof prints
Mhm.
and no overstride, it can be 5.5 or even 5.0 because the criteria for medium walk has not quite been met.
Mm. I recognize this.
You do?
Yes, I had a stallion many years ago. I compete with him, and he was not very good at walking, and I always fell on that. So yeah, he couldn't climb over his front feet. So
Right.
mm,
And so many factors play into this overstride. It
mm,
is length of legs, length of the body,
yeah.
um, And it is also flexibility of the loin. And can the horse do pelvic rotation under? And also, can the horse do pelvic rotation left-right simultaneously to add the swing of hip to elongate the hind leg? And not many horses can do it because the joint in the lumbar is so thick that for sturdy built horses, those joints have very little mobility. And the horse pretty much, even if it is free in the joints, in the hip joints, it has only hip joint at the disposal and the length of leg and how far stifle and hook can stretch to reach. So the quality of the ligaments that support the joints and muscles, are they short and contracted, or are they elastic and long in other breeds? It's a lot of factors out there. But it's still, for a horse, it is still possible to train slight difference to demonstrate working walk, medium walk. And judges want, and FEI wants to see medium walk as a lighthouse of correct gymnastics through entire horse's body. If the horse's back is not supple enough, then the back will not go up, pelvic will not rotate, hips will not swing, leg will not extend, many of those things. So the quality of medium walk is one of the first basic movements where a judge can instantly see the quality of basic biomechanics work by the pair, horse rider. Yeah, so the stride length increases in medium walk, naturally. Even if the horse pushes and does not accelerate, there is no suspension, there is no air phase in the walk, and the horse pushes with the hind leg and swings, pushes more and swings under more, the length of stride changes only a little bit. If, for example, the working walk will be 75 to 85 centimeters, then medium will be 80 to maybe 95 centimeters. So it is under 1 meter. Some modern horses, like Glamourdale, with long neck, fantastically elastic all over in the body, those horses can produce 1 meter and more in medium walkover stride. But when we talk about an average horse, no, not so much. But it must be for good if you want to get an 8. It is 1.5 hoof over stride. Air of air. Yeah? Air in between the hoof prints equals 1 horseshoe plus another half horseshoe. Show that you are showing your ambitions towards 8 or higher in a medium walk. Extended, extended is the same, only oscillation of the neck is more, so much more that the horse comes high in the pole, in the top oscillation moment, and will drop the pole down. It may drop the pole down in the low oscillation moment. To the level of the withers almost. The horse still will be on the beat. Entire neck will elongate from half long neck to a longer neck. Rider's hands will be following that oscillation motion back, right, back and forth a lot. We see it in riders, especially European riders are very good at that. Look at Isabel Wears, how she goes and how her horses are moving like an accordion in the top line. It's wonderful. The overstep in extended walk can be 2 up to 4, and for some outstanding horses, it can be 5 hoof prints. I've seen 6, but it is very rare. 2 to 4, it is 7 to 8, yeah, in the score. If your horse oversteps 2 to 4 air hoof prints, that is the direction what you in the score what you're aiming for, yeah. And in extended walk combines extreme flexibility of swing in a horse's body with push, yeah, to cover the ground. The length of extended walk can be 110 to 135 centimeters from what I was able to measure on some, specific horses, live or on video. I like this point. So, shall we say something else on extended walk for the audience? No? Keep going?
Yes, yes, yes.
Oh, okay. So the next walk we have is free walk on a long loose rein. We do have it in some tests, yeah, in lower levels, in pretty much in every dressage discipline. We have free walk on a long, loose, it's very important, loose rein, no contact. The rein is hanging. The horse should have the longest neck position, same oscillation, but the nose should be way in front of the vertical.
Mhm.
What judges want to see is that the horse is trusting the rider and is so comfortable with the rider's weight on the back that it completely relaxes neck muscles from the lower jaw down and the top muscles on the poll from the skull that control the first vertebra on the neck. Because when those muscles on the top and on the bottom are fully relaxed, horse's head hangs not down vertically,
No.
but it rotates with nose about 1 palm width forward in front of the ear.
Mhm.
So 7, 8, 9, 10 centimeters in front of the ear. This is the correct head and neck position in the free walk on a long loose rein. To be fair, I have to say that majority of horses I've seen in the show ring do not have this ability.
Mhm.
Horses are so trying from the rider's aids to keep their nose tucked in
Mhm.
that they go into that mode as an autopilot. And even if when they're given an opportunity to stretch and relax, they're not taking this opportunity.
No.
They're staying with the nose at the vertical or even tucked under.
Mhm.
Yeah, we see this a lot in free walks. The horse relaxes neck, but holds the nose under the throat ledge.
Yeah.
Or vertically under the eye, but not letting full muscle relaxation to swing the nose forward. The overstride in the free walk is 1 to 3 hoof prints. It should be more than medium walk.
Mhm.
Free walk Yeah, the quality. When can we get the 8 and 9 for the free walk? We have that wonderful child, goes on a horse, lower levels, the horse is good quality. When the child can get um, the high score, 8 and above, it is when the march and activity also releases when the rider gives long hanging rein. And the horse shows, oh, I had more to offer, and now I can offer it freely. And activity and march and ground cover increases in comparison to medium walk on the beat. So if the horse was going half or one or 1.5 hoof overstride in medium walk, in free walk, it should add at least another half hoof print
Mm.
of air. Yeah, so I hope those points are helpful for the riders to be inspired and to know what to look for in walk lengthening. Yeah.
I think it's very, very good. And for you who cannot see this, you have hoof print also on this slide, so you can see how much it's walking over the hoof print, and I think that's great to see because it shows what to strive for.
Thank you. Well, that was my intent when I was building this. And yeah, on the shortening side, on collecting side, we have collected walk.
Yeah.
I did not put here very collected walk as the walk that you create before entering walk period, for example. Yeah.
Mhm.
It's only collected walk, like on a straight line or on a curved line, standard collected walk, what we're looking for. It's on the beat, it's round frame, compact, collected, high pole set. And this high pole set, even when the neck oscillates, the horse goes down from high pole set only to come very quickly back to it. Yeah, the neck remains half long.
Mm.
The neck length remains half long, but because of relative elevation change in the horse's body, horse sits on the hindquarters a little bit more and withers thoracic sling out of the shoulder blades, slight elevation of neck, and we get that beautiful high neck outline.
Yeah.
Almost matching prints or slight underreach.
Mhm.
Collected walk is characterized by almost matching prints, hind hoof into front hoof, or slide understep, underreach or understep. I don't know what's the proper expression.
Mhm.
When we look at warm-ups on like World Equestrian Games, big shows, I'm watching those videos and and in slow motion, 0.5, 0.25, looking at where the hoof prints are and such. For various gaits, including for the walk, those top riders can vary working walk. They all warm up in working gaits
Mhm.
and they use working walk frame as transitional stage before adding absolute relative elevation
Mhm.
and higher animation of limbs for collection in walk. So you can see it when the horse goes low in round outline, but already has shortened the base and the stride. And then they just use half hold and they engage their seat. And all of a sudden, the horse changes the body position
Mm-hmm.
and limbs go higher, but it is the same length of stride and the same hoof print to hoof print or slide under step. This is a very high level of skill.
Yeah.
I encourage everybody watch the warm-ups on
Yes.
YouTube, on any channel. It is most educating, and I hope that this framework, this slide, will help you to school your eye to know what to see, to know what to look for, what to recognize, and then make your own observations and write your own notes about what you think those riders do to produce that with the horse. Yeah? So that was about the walks. Now we can move to the trot.
Yes.
All right. So those are the trots, and I also added for the trots the pictures of real horse and riders.
Yes.
The trot we look at collected, working, medium, extended, and we don't have free trot, but we have stretching forward downward trot.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, stretching forward downward trot we can find. It's used all over the place in the training, yeah, in the warm-ups every day and such. And it is also something that riders demonstrate on lower level dressage tests. In, I think, in FEI young horse classes and in national tests, for example, in Holland and in the United States. They have that movement in the trot. The working pace in the trot is the same on the beat, round frame, half long rainbow neck, pull slightly lowered, almost to the level of the withers, but it can be just a forelock somewhere at the level of the withers or the sheepskin, yeah, fuzzy on the saddle. It's all mostly matching prints, hoof print to hoof print, slightly over, slightly under, doesn't matter, but that's pretty much the area of how much V, yeah, we have. The tempo for the trot, for the average horse, is counting left shoulder, right shoulder, each shoulder move as a stride. It would be 138 to 160 beats per minute. Yeah. When we look at the medium, it's on the beat, but slightly higher neck, more relative elevation in the horse, same half-long neck. Pole is steadily above the withers, yeah? And overstep is from half to 1.5 hoof prints, same as in medium walk.
Mm-hmm.
So medium trot shows some overstep. We see in many horses in medium walk in the tests where medium trot is introduced, that horses struggle with it. They try to push
Mm-hmm.
to elongate the stride, but they do not swing the body yet to demonstrate overstep. And maybe they go hoof print to hoof print or only half a hoof print over stride. That's not enough. And it shows that the top line is not elastic enough.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the limbs are not quite there, but it is something to develop. Yeah. The tempo should stay the same, and that's another challenge for the riders who begin developing and demonstrating medium trot. Half of them, let's say approximately half of them, accelerate the tempo because horses cannot, they understand that they need to go from M to H faster.
Yes.
And they do it as much as using their abilities, what they can. So some of them cannot push and cannot swing, and they go just faster. And some of them can push but cannot swing, and they just push rigidly like little goats without overstride, but they elongate the step, the ground cover. And then there are horses who can push and swing. They have flexibility to swing simultaneously, and those begin demonstrating medium trot for 7-0. So 7-0 is as a mark where a judge sees ground cover and overstride together. Maybe a little bit overstride, maybe a little bit ground cover increase, but they are together. And the tempo is pretty consistent compared to, working trot or collected trot. In the extended trot, the required overstep is much bigger. However, so it is, overstep should be between 2 to 4 hoof prints, hoof prints. And what we see if we look at the videos, we see those beautiful extensions on the diagonals, and horses show more ground cover, they push, but they do not show increased overstep compared to mediums. So that has become the problem in the modern sport. So we put the very high expectations from the German training system. It's a German training system that introduced extended trot into the discipline of dressage and offered it relatively early in horse development. It was not the case before.
No.
German horses were bred such and such, crossing with carriage horses, and they had those abilities. So the German Equestrian Federation introduced extended trots in the tests because a lot of German horses could do that. And that was way back then, 70 years ago or more. But since then, things changed. The breeding changed towards lighter horses with greater flexibility and such. And they start losing ability to push. Soft pasterns, many of them, right? And those horses propel themselves less in extended trot, and they show little or no difference in overstride. So now the judges, the gurus of equestrian sport are thinking what to do about it. Now we have different horses. The system was built for horses like what Isabel Werth and Anke van Grunsven were riding and Kyra Kirkland were riding way back then. But now we have different situation. But now how do we change the program to match the horses of today? I think this is something that FEI is trying to solve, find approach to. And maybe, I don't know, I'm not a part of it.
Mhm.
And maybe we will see some, adjustments,
Mhm.
adjustments to that. But for now, extended trot expectation is long stride, much longer than medium. In extended frame, neck lowers, the body of a horse stretches, limbs swing hind leg and front leg, far, forward and back, and there is a great overstep expected, 2 to 4 hoof prints. To soften probably this slight disconnect, FAI does not have these specifics in the guidelines. So I'm taking risk here to put in numbers,
Mhm.
in hoof prints, the expectation. But these expectations are not expressed in numeric values anywhere in dressage guides. If somebody finds that, please share with me. I'll be glad to learn, but it's not. All the expressions are very soft, very, I would say, humanitarian and non-mathematical.
Mhm.
Yeah. So that's how we see the governing body of the sport, how it operates. They have their
And
reasons for
maybe
that.
maybe it could be that it makes some misunderstandings in this
Yeah,
case.
it does
Mm.
lead, it softens,
Yeah.
but it does lead to lack of clarity,
Mm.
right?
Mm.
I went on a quest when, judges, writers have some dinners, and we talk about things. I was like, hey, how does the extended trot for 10 look like?
Mm.
Name. People can't.
Oh.
Because anything beyond 8 pretty much becomes a matter of taste and artistic expression.
Mm.
And the big name of the horse breed and the big name of the rider
Mm.
and internal system of relationship between federations
Yes.
and such. Yeah. So then it comes to that more so. But hey, my purpose here, my objective here is to give a map
Mm.
to every rider from any village to know where they are with the horse and
Mm.
what they need to teach the horse to have a chance for 8 or higher.
Yeah.
Okay. So stretching forward and downward happens on a long rein, maintaining contact. This is the main difference from the free walk on a long loose rein, where the neck and head become horizontal line pretty much. Yeah. Here the horse stretches down with the nose lower than the chest level
Mhm.
towards its knees, elongated neck, perfectly in balance on the beat. Yeah. And the animation of limbs in this trot should increase, the quality of trot should increase. Overstep half to 1.5 hoof print, just like on medium. Okay,
Yeah.
let's talk about it in more detail. If your horse stretches neck down on the beat, but goes hoof print to hoof print, it is not more than 6. So the fact that your horse stretched the neck and is perfectly on the beat but the quality and activity of the trot does not improve, it does not give a higher score. You meet criteria, rhythm to beat rhythm, activity enough hoof print to hoof print like a working trot. Yeah. The horse meets criteria of staying on the beat, stretching the neck, being in balance. 6.0 for that. To get scores towards 7, the horse needs to show some activity which is overstride. And elevation of the limbs should be higher than in the working trot. The horse needs to feel liberated in the back because it can stretch, and that as a result uh, uh, prompts the horse to animate more in all limbs and to push from the ground. So the air phase, suspension phase in the trot becomes more prominent and the horse swings back more. That's why the stretching trot, almost in all tests, is written in the posting trot and not sitting. The swing in the back should increase an animation of limbs and air phase. So once that overstep and suspension phase are more prominent, it is towards 8. 7.5 is when the quality of trot, suppleness and swing in the body in the stretching trot is better than in your working trot right there in the test. If the quality of trot does not improve in the stretching forward downward frame, that means that the training, the work on biomechanics in the horse is incorrect and must be revisited. And for a serious judge, the judge will not give you a score for this trot higher than what your score was for the working trot, or can even lower it, even though your horse beautifully dropped the neck down being on the beat.
Mhm.
Yeah. So collected trot almost matching prints or slide under reach. When we look at warm-ups on world games, it is I stop breathing when I see those moments when the riders lead the horse in a working trot, hoof print to hoof print, and then just like in the walk, they do half halt. Horse continues with the same matching prints, with the same ground cover, exactly identical stride length. And the horses just go, they rotate their bodies, they go into relative elevation and suspension, they spring off the ground and articulation in limbs, and it is a stunning picture. How they can change. Nothing else changes on the ground.
Mhm.
Same stride length, same hoof print to hoof print, same tempo in beats per minute from 138 to 160. I measured it on metronome. They stay identical and they just change completely the position of the horse in the air and how it moves and pushes itself off the ground.
Mm.
That's why we do this dressage, right?
Yes.
Um, Anne, do you think our listeners would have any questions?
Uh, yeah, but this is a podcast, so it's difficult for
Mhm.
them, but they can contact you maybe if that's okay.
Sure.
And I will put your links in the podcast so people can contact you if there's anything.
Let's look at some pictures of working canter.
Yeah.
Now we're moving to canter. It is when the horse's ears are at the level of the withers, the forelock, yeah, working canter. And the canter is a very interesting gait because in the canter, when I, as a judge, look at the ground cover and overstride, I start looking where the front hoof print is between the two hind legs. Because in canter, the front hoof print pretty much stays between the two hind legs. It's the position of this hoof print slightly drifts back to the diagonal hind leg hoof print as the canter lengthens, yeah, medium to extended. But it always stays between the hoof prints of two hind legs. The spread between two hoof prints of the hind legs increases dramatically, yeah? But the relative position of the front leading leg hoof print stays securely there. When it's not the case, it's not canter, it's a racing gallop. And then it is not a 3-beat canter, it is a 4-beat gallop. Yeah. So that is one of the changes why in canter we have front hoof print, 3-beat, and always between the hind legs. Example of medium canter also shows where the hoof print of the front was before and where it is now. And in medium canter, it is pretty much centered. It's in the medium, in the center of the distance between the hoof prints of hind leg and front leg, right under the lumbar of a horse, where the pelvic is, a side joint.
Mm-hmm.
Edward Gall on Totilos, same. This is extended canter, and this is when the hoof print of the leading front stays shifted to the pushing diagonal hind leg because the horse propels itself so much that the landing two hind legs, they land further out.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the framework. Requirements to contact and frame in all these canters are identical to requirements in the trot. It's on the beat. When we do canter stretching forward and downward on a long rein, it's contact with the mouth. Frame is round. Neck is half long everywhere with open throat latch in medium, extended, and stretching. So the throat in the horse needs to have open angle in medium, extended, and stretching. It may vary in the working canter, and it will be a closed throat latch in collected canter, but not overly. So this is the ideal expectation of dressage. However, we see a lot of riders, even on expensive, beautifully bred horses, who ride those canters with closed throat.
Mm-hmm.
In theory, the closed throat, even if your horse goes in medium canter 45 degrees up to the air and meets requirements for all overstride and such, those canters should not be receiving anything higher than 7-0. Those are not 8-0 because the muscles in the pole and in the base of in the bottom of the neck or near lower jaw should be relaxed enough so that the head of the horse would be more in a hanging position. And if it is in the hanging position, the nose is by far in front of the vertical. In the phase of the canter stride, when the horse is on the outside hind leg. When the horse goes on a diagonal and on leading front, neck oscillates down, yeah, and it's harder to see the jaw, the throat angle. It may change, but in this position, yeah, then the nose will be under the vertical. But in this position, it should be very clear. Open throat ledge, 90 degrees angle from first vertebra in the neck, yeah, to the jaw teeth line of the lower jaw should be 90 degrees. And if it's hanging, then the nose is in front of vertical. Requirements to overstep is greater in the canter than in the trot. It's overstep 2 to 4 hoof prints for medium and 3 to 6 hoof prints for extended. In the stretching, 1 to 3 hoof prints overstep is enough. For the working canter, it's mostly matching. It can vary back and forth a little bit. That doesn't matter in the working canter because the suspension phase is so high and balance varies. So for the same horse on the same line, it can have greater deviations. Yeah, when we ride a working canter in lower level dressage tests, it can start on this line with this overstride and then slightly change and then come back to that. Those little nuances they don't matter as soon as it is somewhere near matching hoof prints. In collected canter, it's the same. Highest quality of collected canter is the same as working, and I'm talking about standard collected canter, not the very collected as that we developed before the canter period. It's not the very collected, it's a standard collected. Standard collected equals working, half hold, and the horse changes. Jump into the air, angle, body position, gets shorter, springier on hindquarters. Yeah. The length of stride in collected canter for many horses, though, can change and become shorter. If a working canter is approximately, plus minus 20 centimeters, is approximately average 3 meters, working, where there is no much impulsion. Medium, 360, extended, approximately 4, can be more, can be less, but approximately, kind of to see the difference between one stride length in a pace to another. Uncollected, it can be 2 meters, 40 centimeters. It can be same 3 meters, but it is hardly shorter than 2 meters. Some horses can collect only when they go short. It's just what they can do. This is how they're carrying and pushing power balance themselves in their body. This is what they can do, and that is fine. If a collected canter is the same ground cover and speed as the working canter, it's okay, but then it is very big difference in relative elevation in the body and in the jump. Impulsion is very different. So that's what I wanted to share, Anne.
It was fantastic and very, very informative. I hope that all of you out there getting a lot of this out of this. And I would like to talk to you another time about the rider, perhaps also because now we have going through the horse and position and all of
Mhm.
this. It would be fantastic to talk about what do you expect of the rider. So
Wow.
yeah,
You're really challenging
yes, I am.
in a good way. Yes. Well,
But
let me think about it. It's very interesting.
yeah. So thank you so much for today. It has been fantastic, and thank you all of you out there who have been listening and seeing this. And please subscribe to the channel. It helps me to reach more people. And thanks a lot to you for coming here today.
Thank you, Anne, for having me. And I joined Anne. Guys, share the channel. I've learned myself a lot from the podcasts and videos. I'm visual. I like to watch videos on Anne's channel. A lot of good information here. So please share it with your friends. Thank you.
Thank you so much, and
Happy
have a
holidays
great
all.
day. Bye
Bye
bye.
bye.